$2.7 trillion in market value from the Mag 7 is what has been lost, Josh, over the last 3 weeks. So you have some calling for the conditions being ripe for a bounce, and maybe that's in fact what we're seeing on the screen. As I said, we'll see how long it lasts. I know you're looking at Dow Theory, the transports telling a more bearish story. Michael Hartnett of B of A today looks at the flows and says the correction's not quite over. He said, bottom line, up in stocks, up in yields, up in dollar, up in smoke thus far in 25, not including today, obviously. And that sentiment and positioning suggests that we're not quite done yet, as U.S. equities show, according to them, the biggest outflows year to date.
Yeah, look, I think it's premature to say it's over. It would be nice if it were over, and maybe it is. You know, the VIX is cooling off a little bit, and we've gone a few hours without anything new on the tariffs that the market doesn't have to spend today pricing in. But I think what you want to do here with the Dow Theory stuff, and I brought a couple of charts because I think this is really important. This is the next thing that they're going to trot out to try to scare you into believing that the recession is like a foregone conclusion. And I think it's way premature. So the Dow Theory talk is starting up, and the technicians are starting to remind people when we made record highs in November after the election. What was really great about that moment is that not only did the Dow Industrials make new highs around Thanksgiving, but at the same time, the Dow Jones transportation stocks were also making new highs. And that's what the technicians refer to as confirmation. And it worked. You could continue to stay long for another month and a half or so. The problem is in mid-February, the Dow went for another new high. The S&P actually got one. The Dow failed. And while it failed, the Dow transports were already in a pullback and did not confirm that new attempt at a high. So now here we are. You've got the DJT basically in like an 18.5% drawdown, going for a full bear market in the transports. And I think that's what you're going to hear next. Should this volatility persist, they're going to say, oh no, the transports are in a bear market. It won't be long before the Dow Jones follows. It won't be long before we're in recession. So this is what I want to tell the viewers before that talk starts. Back to 1977, the Dow Jones transports have fallen 20% from a high 15 times. Most recently, it happened in 2022. It was down 29% at its lowest point. The most important thing to know is that this phenomenon has not been a great tell that recession was coming. Only 6 times out of those 15 episodes has a negative 20% reading on the Dow Jones transports led to a recession. And we've had 4 of those episodes going back to the GFC. We really haven't had a recession since, unless you count the 2 months of the pandemic. So we've had more times with a down 20% transports without recession than with one over the last 50 years. And so if we get there, and if they start putting out these notes, Dow Theory predicting recession, please take a deep breath. I know it's coming, but I want you to be armed with that context.
Okay.
More times than not, it's not a recession.